The stream is live. All right. Am I supposed to like where's
We're we're live, and now just we're going live on Instagram now too. All right, we're live on everything.
yeah,
Give
I
everybody
think
give everyone a few minutes to start joining. Live. Now
okay, I
just
got you.
we're going live on it.
Yeah,
Give
I
everybody.
think yeah, got it.
Got some echo. Was that coming from you?
No, it was coming from my phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just making sure the live was accessible.
All right, we have a few people joining.
Comments, join the chat. I don't see. Are we supposed to be able to see people's comments, right?
Um, if it comes in from like Facebook or maybe YouTube, I think it shows up here, and then we have to actually check Instagram.
Okay.
But they're sending those to us.
Yeah. All right. Great.
We have a few people watching on Instagram, so I think we can go ahead and start talking. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. Today we have Rami as our special guest, and we're going to be talking about advertising. Rami has a marketing and advertising company more on the digital side, and as many of you know, I also have an advertising company that's on the more of the physical digital out of home uh, vertical. So Rami, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and who your company is.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, firstly, thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it. And yeah, as you just mentioned, we do have a digital marketing company. We mainly specialize in content creation and implementing sales funnels for that content creation to actually be turned into sales. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. We're mainly focused on business to business type of business model. And we are currently located in Miami, Florida. I'm currently streaming live from our office, and it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. It's more on the side of social media, this platform doing all type of videos to attract as much people as possible, and turning those views into sales. That's our main differentiator. I would say it. We don't just keep doing great videos, but we do videos that people interact with, and then we try to turn those views into sales. So that's the magic. On your side, you do billboards, though. How's it like?
Yeah, so we're less on the digital online side, and we're more on the physical side of having actual billboards. Although most of them are digital billboards, we only have a few things in our inventory that are static, like some buses and stuff that are wrapped. But we started with digital billboards on the side of the highway, and we still have those. But since then, we've really pivoted to focusing on putting digital screens inside of grocery stores, which is primarily our tower product that many of my followers have seen. It's a 49-inch vertical screen that goes in the grocery store in the checkout area. But we're starting to expand into a lot of other types of screen options that go into the grocery stores in different areas, different sizes. Some of them could be on the wall, they could be wall mount, pole mount, ceiling mount, floor mount, even window mount. We have a lot of new options that we're rolling out, and our as we grow that network, which is growing pretty quickly across the U.S. and a lot of different states. We're going to start incorporating, some more digital options that are more kind of in your world, Rami, because sometimes an advertiser will put an ad in grocery stores, and they may want to retarget that audience that saw that ad. So somebody may stand in line in a grocery store 5-10 minutes, see an ad multiple times, and a lot of advertisers want to follow that potential customer home, right, and continue to advertise it to them. So we're going to start rolling out in 2025 like some geofencing packages and things like that, retargeting, all of that. So that's really what we're focused on going into the new year.
Well, that's great. What it really triggers me when I initially learn about your business model is how do you actually track? Because it's a lot easier when it comes to digital marketing to have like hard numbers on how many people watch a certain video, and then you have some type of KPIs you can use on your favor to start retargeting your campaigns. And but how do you track that on and those type of advertising models? Like, are there any ways to do that and effectively for you to tell your customer, hey, this amount of people watch your ad, I think we can retarget this way? But how do you track it first, and how do you get data out of it?
Hmm. So the big thing that we did last, well, let's say a few months ago, is we actually had an audit done on all of our inventory by the company called Geopath, which is like the industry standard for measuring out of home metrics. So they actually measured our inventory. They mostly use cellular data. They you know have a ton and access to tons and tons of data, GPS data of where people's phones were, and the demographics on those people. So they can tell us about how many people a day or how many people a week or a month are in front of our screens and the demographics on those people. But to get a little more specific, we've started also rolling out facial detection technology using cameras. All of our towers have cameras built in, and
Great.
we use those cameras to count impressions and engagement with the screens. And then of course we can also get a lot of demographic information as well. So we don't do facial recognition, so we don't track specific people or save
Oh, of
anybody's
course.
data or
Yeah, for
anything.
privacy.
All we do is measure the audience based on the facial detection technology. So it can tell us how many faces looked at this screen each day, and then it'll tell us like the average dwell time, and it'll say we had 55% women and 45% men, and it can tell us age ranges and things like that as well.
Well, that's great. It's a little more complicated than social media, because usually like you can get really hard numbers on it. Even
Mhm.
with all these privacy laws that came out recently, you are still able to track using those numbers and KPIs. But then you're basically telling me that after a certain period of time, you come to your customers and say, hey, we have this data. Is there any specific way to be able to say, hey, I have these people information, can I send them some info about our services? Or not really, it's more about demographics and
Right. We don't have anybody's data that's in the store, but that's why we're looking at some of these retargeting options and all, to say that if somebody was in the store, that maybe you could retarget them later on Facebook or Instagram with paid ads. Another thing too, like we're testing some other technology, like we can count not only from GPS data, but also you can count like how many phones, unique phones, like were close to the screen. So that's like another thing. And then a lot of our advertisers, I'd say most of our advertisers now, their call to action is to scan a QR code. So, you have a lot
you
of.
can track it from there, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have that, and then of course they try to capture the data of that potential customer using that QR code. So usually the QR code goes to like a little landing page, and they'll put their email or phone number
Yeah,
or whatever.
you can track that 100%. That's
Exactly.
right.
So
And
that's
how
really
many
what.
customers do you have currently? Like, and which specific locations are you guys located?
So right now, the Screen Network, I want to say we're in about like 8 or 10 states. Some states we have stuff signed and we haven't installed it yet. But our main markets that we're growing, because we're starting to really. At first, we were casting a wide net and kind of putting screens all over the place, but now we're really focused on Southeast Louisiana, Nashville. We've been putting a lot of screens. We've been putting a lot of screens in Oklahoma City, starting to put some in Tulsa. Kansas City's another market. So we're focusing on specific markets, and each screen typically you probably average around 4 or 5 advertisers that are on there. I mean, they can have more, but that's about the average once the screen's been installed for a few months. And we're also playing content between the advertising for the grocery store. So we have content for like their weekly specials, the stuff about their rewards program, catering, whatever the grocery store wants to push. And another thing we're going to be starting to roll out next year is content that's just really entertaining but with the end goal of getting people to spend more in the store. So for instance, it may be content where in between the ads, you'll see some video, like TikTok style video of somebody cooking something. Like maybe they're cooking, like red beans and rice, like down here in New Orleans. And it gives somebody the idea that maybe they should cook red beans and rice.
Yeah.
Maybe
Or whatever entertains people, so you
Yeah.
can catch their attention for as long as possible, I guess.
Exactly.
It's really good because if you're a little aware of TikTok, it's kind of addicting.
Mhm.
It's really addictive because you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and people don't really, it's like an endless cycle of not doing anything.
Mhm.
But if you take that on your favor, definitely people will eat up some ads in the middle, and they
Mhm.
wouldn't mind. It's like, for example, when you go on a Uber or Lyft, right? And they have this little screen in front of you, so you can start playing games, and in the middle of the games you have ads, and you're
Mhm.
okay with them. And people are even proner to watch those ads longer because they are playing those games. So what's your specific plan when turning into the digital world? Like, you want to do like some meta ad campaigns, or how would that really work with you?
Well, so we're doing some advertising now for ourselves, right? Like on social media, targeting advertisers, like trying to find advertisers that want to advertise on our screens. So we do some advertising on like Facebook, and we also have people that are very active in Facebook groups, which we found to be very great places to find potential leads for ourselves, right? Facebook groups, Reddit groups, all of those places are really good to find businesses that might want to advertise. But as far as our actual advertisers, we're looking at offering them social media products like as a package deal. It's all about bundles. So a lot of these smaller advertisers, which many of our advertisers are small, they could be law firms, real estate agents, insurance agents, all kinds of smaller and many times home-based businesses. And they really don't have a sophisticated marketing strategy. They don't really have a team.
Yeah,
So
working behind. Yeah.
and offer them more products and services that create value for them, where maybe, I mean, it's very, so for example, like in the beginning we were just selling the advertising space, but then we realized one of the big problems was the smaller advertisers don't even know how to get an ad made. So then we started offering that service where we can make the ad for you, and we brought in an in-house graphic designer. And then now we're finding out, well, we want an ad and we can make the ad for you. But then you're saying we want an ad, but we have nowhere to send these people, right? We don't have a website, or maybe the
Nothing
website.
at all. It's a home-based service, for example. Service
Exactly.
business.
They maybe have something, but it's old, it's not good. And they're like, well, I don't want to buy an ad until you actually have this fixed. Or
Yeah.
I wanna run ads to grow my social media, but my social media is not ready yet because I'm trying to do it myself and I'm not good at it. So if we can step in and say, okay, well, we can
Give
handle
you
your
everything. Yeah.
too.
As a
Exactly.
bundle.
Yeah. And we're thinking, that a lot of it will be through strategic partnerships with maybe companies like yours, where as we add these products, rather than trying to do it all ourselves in house and learn things that maybe we're not going to be the best at because we don't have the expertise, it would be better to go to somebody who does have the expertise and team up and say, well, you're the best at making websites, or you're the best at TikTok ads or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's work together, and then our sales team will bundle these services up, and the account manager for the advertiser will still deal with these other companies and stuff to make sure that everything gets done properly for the customer, and then the customer doesn't need to talk to 3 or 4 companies because we're doing that for them. So
Yeah,
they really
pretty much
feel.
an agency, what an agency is for.
Mhm.
And we've realized for so much time now that you gotta make it so simple for a customer. I don't know if it ever happened to you, but when you try to sell the idea, at least I think that for you it's a bit easier when it comes to conventional advertising, like that type of business model, because people know that they have known that for so many decades now. When you try to sell the idea of hey, you gotta be on social media because your people, your audience might be watching you and they might not be interested in acquiring a service or purchasing a product directly from an ad, but now they want to just get some value out of your content. They want to spend as much time as possible entertaining themselves, which is a really important point you just mentioned. And then after that, if you have a really good sales funnel, they will convert into a customer. And it's sometimes it's a bit difficult, and business owner don't really need to understand the whole process. They just want to see results. So one main thing that we've seen people struggle with is trying to understand the whole process, and especially when it comes to social media. Sometimes they think that with just creating a couple of videos, they're gonna get some good results out of it, and of more often than not, it's not the case. You gotta
Yeah.
have the whole sales funnel. It may happen to you as well. Like you can advertise a home-based service business, but if you don't have any even social media or number to get in touch with, like what's the issue? Like what would be the goal on that? So for us, it's really important. It's really important to create content. You get people watching that content, and then you need to take that information and do something else with that. And it really varies across industries.
Mhm.
We are performing really good with mainly services and personal brands rather than corporate like companies here in the
Mhm.
states. But it all comes down to having a good sales funnel, like email
Mhm.
marketing, SMS marketing, running paid campaigns on Meta, for example, so people can watch you from Instagram and Facebook. I disagree a little bit on Facebook because I see Facebook like I don't know if it's because of the region we're working with, because we work locally with businesses here in Miami.
Mhm.
We can really, with the content creation, you gotta be physically present most of the times. So we don't go broader than that. We are just focusing on Miami now. And with the content creation, you gotta be here.
Mhm.
Content creation, which is the main part. Um, we definitely it all comes down to do something, get results with the people watching you. That's it. And it sometimes it's difficult to explain to business owners. I think for you it's a bit easier just to sell conventional ads sometimes. I don't know. But it's great that you guys are coming into digital. There's a lot of folks, especially the the younger generations are coming in,
Mhm.
and just giving it as a bundle, incredible. You get a price, people get results, everybody's happy, and they don't gotta be dealing with a bunch of other companies.
Creates value. This is stuff that they want. And we've seen cases where somebody spent a lot of money buying an ad campaign with us, and maybe they were with us and they might have been on a bunch of other billboards too with other companies, and all they have is a phone number, and that phone number like goes to their cell phone. So like if somebody calls a number, like half the time they don't even answer, right?
Yeah.
They're
It's
wasting their
classic.
money, really, right? Like they're wasting their, not only are they wasting their money, but the first time somebody calls and nobody answers, then they've actually, hurt their brand. And so we're trying to show people, like, you really, like you said, need to have something. I mean, we really right now don't offer all of those other things. I mean, we can make a landing page, a very simple landing page. We can make QR codes and stuff like that. But some of these people just have nothing, and they really should. Like, if you're going to run any type of business, like you said, you need to have like an actual funnel and a plan for what to do with these leads that come in, and you need to get back with them fast, because if you don't, I mean, they just move on and they call somebody else, and they don't realize that. And these people are, they're great people, these business owners, small business owners, but some of them are older and stuff, and they have no idea how things work these days, and really they need help. And that help can easily translate into profits for them. So it really, I think the ROI they see, if you can help them solve, those missing steps in their process, and it's just huge because it's such a simple thing that's being missed.
And now the attention window has shortened like considerably.
Hmm.
For example, we run some ad campaigns where when the moment you leave the information, you submit the form,
Hmm.
you get a call within like 2 minutes. That's how fast we're talking about, because people's windows attention window has really shortened. And there's like a term here especially on social media, people call it like their retention rate,
Hmm.
where everybody's talking about doing videos where in the first 3 to 5 seconds you gotta make people stay and keep watching the video.
Hmm.
And sometimes it becomes a little toxic because you want to do really valuable content, but at the same time you have to be sure people will watch it.
Right.
And we've done stuff that sometimes I think about, and it's like I wouldn't have stayed this long to watch the video. So you start from there. And I think people want to have everything fast nowadays, like faster than ever. And that's why social media has made it like super easy to get information from. And it becomes a little more difficult to get that information and convert it into sales. It
Hmm.
really depends on the country. It really depends on the area you're working, especially or even on the industries you're working with. But at least it works like that here in the States. So if you leave your form, your details, like somebody should be calling you within
Right.
seconds or minutes right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
um because they I don't know if you're gonna see when you run meta ad campaigns, or if you work with anybody else that does it. You sometimes may call a lead, and the lead will say, I don't remember putting my information, it was like a day ago. They forgot about it. They
Yep.
really forgot, and they're like, we're talking about this roofing company and everything. Oh yeah, but that might have been my daughter or somebody else, but they don't remember that because it's been a day since they did that. So it's
We've,
crazy.
we've had that we've had that happen in the past for sure with our own stuff where maybe somebody filled out a form on a website or something, and then it was over the weekend and you call them on Monday and they're like, I don't even remember doing that. So you're absolutely
People
right.
don't even remember what they ate just the day before. Like it's
Hmm.
it's starting by then. It's starting by that. Like
Mostly
uh
we have some screens on in bars. That's not really where we're focused, but we have some legacy older screens in bars, and nobody ever remembers.
yeah.
Scanning the QR code at the bar and filling it out. They're like, man, I don't even remember. I think I was at that bar. I don't know. I was having a lot of fun.
They don't know. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
It happened.
you gotta catch their attention and try to talk to them as soon as possible, as early as possible.
I think we have some questions coming in. Let's see.
Let's see. Well, I don't have any access
Can
to
a, play,
that. Let me just check it
can
over
a,
here.
can a
Let's
playback
see.
be made available due to bad audio network? You're in Sacramento area. Interesting. Oh, that's just somebody wanting to know if we're going to post it. Yes, we are going to post this video when it's finished, so you'll be able to watch it later. And then another question, what's the biggest mistake you see businesses make in their marketing efforts?
Well, that's a great question, because it's not a simple like straightforward answer. But I would say that the biggest mistake is not making a plan at the very beginning. Again,
Hmm.
not establishing certain goals that you gotta reach, or that you gotta achieve by the end of a quarter, by the end of 6 months or a year. Um, and one of the main things we do before working with a customer is doing a complete business analysis plan. Right. So you start with that, and then you start doing your marketing plan, and you start considering what are the top priorities for that business. So you adapt the plan into that based on the feedback provided by the customer. So the biggest mistake on social media, at least on social media, is not even knowing what your goals are, because you're just gonna be acting or following trends that doesn't lead you anywhere, because they don't apply the same for your business. But that's the biggest mistake, 100%. Like there are businesses that we work with that the only thing they needed was an email marketing campaign, and they are performing super good with it. and others they just needed content creations because they were restaurants, and people tend to visit restaurant more regularly out of some videos they watch, or out of micro or influencers on social media. So it really depends on that. So the
Mhm.
thing with the bundles, like the bundle idea is good, but it's you do that as a business when you want to scale up your business, your customers. At least here at Artica, we're still at that age, at that stage where we do everything personalized. Let me call it like that. So we do the analysis, we start working based on that. If not, you're just gonna be following trends, not getting results, and being frustrated. When we talk about social media, if we talk about anything related to the business itself, well, I don't touch it because it really depends on the owners.
Right.
But it really comes down to people watching your videos, people getting into your social. You have social proof, you have testimonials, you have good quality videos. People connect with you. You have a good sales funnel. That's great. You will get customer. But the biggest mistake is not having a plan. Seems it like sounds simple, sounds like really uh cliche. Let's call it like that. But it's really the point. You gotta have a plan. If you just stick with it and you reach a goal, you're good. You did something.
I agree with that. I think one of the big things that I see too is that people don't even know what marketing is. So they just think
It's a
marketing.
broad term. It's a broad term. Like,
Yeah. Well, they say, well, what's your marketing strategy? Well, I buy ads. Like what else? Like there's more to marketing than ads, right? Like there's a
yeah,
whole lot more to it than that. And I don't think many business owners, at least when they're starting out, realize that. I think they think that you just go, run some ads, make some social media posts, and that's it. And all this business is going to come in. And like you said, there's way more to it. I mean, there's even if you're really good at advertising, which also assumes that you're doing testing, which I think a lot of people don't do testing. They're not doing A.
yeah. You spend a lot of money and time. People don't. Sometimes some customers don't even have the economic means to do it because
It
it
takes
takes
a lot.
time and money. Yeah,
The people who have great ads have been through many, 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 many ads. They've
they've
tried all kinds of things,
they've
and
wasted a lot of money. We've
exactly,
wasted a lot of money ourselves trying to get an ad work.
yeah,
With certain industries, it's really hard. Like for example, let's call it like roofing companies. It's like getting into a tank full of shark
yeah,
because everybody's running good ads, good campaigns, and like so sometimes you see ads created out of canvas, created, I don't know, they just took a picture of something random, like doesn't have anything to do with the service itself, and they say we do it for you, and it's
yeah.
better than anything else. It's way better than anything else. I saw this ad the other day that said, it was like a meme holding like a skateboard saying, "We fix what your husband cannot fix." It was a plumbing company. Uh, it really caught my attention. I left my details because I needed to hire some like a handyman for something in my house. So yeah, marketing is broad. Like what you do is marketing. What we do over here is marketing too. There is a lot of titles regarding marketing. People call themselves.
Uh,
But
every, everybody these days, it seems like, is a marketing something. They're VP of marketing, director of marketing, marketing manager. But then when you talk to them, they're like, "What do you do?" Well, I do Facebook ads, I do Instagram ads,
yeah,
or I do Google ads, or I do, and like they don't even have anything. They don't even know anything about the other pieces of marketing. I mean, one of the first things in marketing too that I think gets missed is that people aren't even doing the research to find out what their customers want, right? They're just thinking about what they want or what they think that their customers want, and they're creating products around that, and then they're wondering why nobody's buying them even if they have great ads, because they haven't even stopped to think about, like, or do any research, even if it's just like picking up the phone and calling people to find out,
and
like,
say, hey,
yeah, what do you want? Like, what are you looking for? And making sure it's priced correctly and all. So like they may run ads and they're like, these ads don't work. And it's like, well, you haven't, you jumped too far ahead. Like you're running ads, but you haven't even you haven't had enough conversations and done enough research to find out, like, are you actually solving a problem? And if you are solving a problem, are you solving it for the right people? Are you, because maybe that problem only exists within a certain
Are,
group, right?
are you in
And
the right area to start
yeah,
with?
exactly. And they miss all of that. And like it goes back to what you said, if they had like a real plan that encompassed all of these different things, like, you know, the research, the testing and constantly just trying and experimenting and all like that. If
And
they
for look for us with, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but we've rejected potential leads or prospects for being our customer just because of it, because they were not open-minded enough to understand that we're not perfect either. You gotta test a lot of things, and we've rejected a lot of them, even when the pay was really good. But we were like dodging a bullet, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Those kind of customers tend to be really problematic in the future. So I don't know if you've ever rejected like a customer of yours just because you said, okay, maybe running an ad vertically in this tower, it's not gonna work for them.
Yeah. We reject. So one of the things we reject now is like bad content. So if somebody sends us an ad that they made themselves or with some other company and it just looks terrible and we know it's not,
You don't.
we reject it because it makes us look bad. If it's a low quality, I mean, we've seen it all. You see people, they send, there was one guy that, you know, had an ad where the picture of himself was very pixelated and terrible. Like if we run this, it makes us look bad. It makes our product look bad. And you know, you see people, they put too many words, like the screen's full of words, it's too much. And you know, you tell them like this isn't going to work. And if it doesn't work, then you're going to be mad. And then you're not going to want to do business with it. So we really try to reject anything that, you know, is clearly just not going to work. And as far as customers go, you know, unfortunately, sometimes we have to reject like very small customers. Like I said, we have a lot of smaller and medium-sized businesses, local businesses. And sometimes, you know, there's unfortunately an issue where the really, really tiny ones that they don't pay their bills. So, and if it's something where it's like this person's probably going to be out of business in 3 months, it's a problem because they sign a contract with us that they can't fulfill. They can't make the payments. We know
Stop
that.
receiving payments. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just certain industries where you see that happen multiple times where you're like, we don't really want to deal with this because it's they're gonna take up space on our screens and we're not gonna get paid. So we've gotten a little more picky. I mean, we want to help small businesses, of course,
Though, of course,
but
I know.
sometimes, you know, if something just started yesterday and somebody's got this big idea that they think is going to be great and they hardly have any money and it's like clearly not that great of an idea, it's like we're not going to waste our time because we're going to end up doing a lot of work trying to help them and then they're never going to pay their bills. So, and even if we were to try to go after them to collect, they don't have any money anyway.
Yeah.
So
Who
it
are you
doesn't
gonna?
really
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. Who are
Exactly.
you gonna go after to? You know?
Yep.
Yeah, or maybe you're just gonna work more than it was even worth from the very beginning. So it's happened to us at the initially when we started working with our first customers. You tend to work more to in order to justify the amount of money that you're getting paid.
Hmm.
And sometimes like we have this saying in the office that it's like the best paying customers really complain the least.
Yep.
And they really cause the least problems ever.
That's
And
true.
when you I don't want to like leave anybody behind, but people paying less, considerably less than the others, like it's like it's always gonna happen. I don't I don't want to say that. I'm just hoping for one day to say, okay, what's wrong, but it's always happened like this. You get more problems from those people. And sometimes they don't have the right amount of money. They don't, or even the operation itself for the business, it's chaotic, and it's not gonna end well. So yeah, we as well, we've rejected.
We've always had that problem, even on the, you know, originally we started with ATMs and we still have the ATM business with ATMs in people's stores and all, and it never fails. Like the guy who has one store or one bar that's not barely making us any money, those people like have an issue every week. There's always a problem. They're always complaining. And then you have like our prime accounts that make us way more money, that are way better. You never hear from them. Like they're no,
Yeah, it's like
like
they don't even care about doing some type of meetings or to see how
yeah,
things are going. Like they don't. They're
you
like,
never hear from them. As long as we
"Man."
do what we say we're gonna do and everything runs smoothly, like we don't hear from them. They're happy and they don't want to be bothered. And you know that's great. It's always the account that like is barely worth having, that ties up like all of your time, always wants to change something. And we've seen it. So we, in that business, we learned after a lot of pain of dealing with that stuff over time to just pass on certain types of customers, and we just refer them to people that like that. But we focused way more, it's the 80-20 thing, right? Like, if
Like
you,
old school. Yeah, I've that's what I told my colleagues before doing this live. It's like I always see this like old school because I'm this type of I don't know how old are you, but I'm just 24, and for me everything is digital now. I didn't happen to experience that much of a old school type of advertising. I was really young enough just to care about it, and it really triggers me that it still exists and people can get results out of it.
Mhm.
I have a question that it's really specific. You gotta pay the business that you're putting the tower in, or you can reach kind of a deal with them, like, hey, if you let us stay here, um, and use our towers, we can give you something else. Like, how does it really work?
It's both, but generally we do pay the stores. So that's kind of something that came over from the ATM business. When you put an ATM in somebody's store or their hotel or wherever it is, like you pay them a revenue share as a form of rent every month to have it there. And it's the same thing with our digital signage. Generally, we pay a percentage to the store to have it there. Sometimes we don't, because sometimes they want certain things in return. So we always give the stores so much content for themselves. Generally, when it comes to an ATM, it's way more driven by the revenue share. Whereas on the towers, it's much more driven by the other benefits of us giving them content in their store and helping make that content for them. So the revenue share is generally less, and sometimes they really don't care about the revenue share or want it because maybe they want some more space on that screen for themselves. So it's less driven by that. But yeah, generally the majority of our stores do get a monthly check for having these devices in their stores. And then of course with the big billboards, same thing. The landlord gets a check every month for
Do you
having.
do you walk around certain areas? Because I saw a video. I watched a video of you like earlier this week on LinkedIn. You were like just walking around certain bayfront, I think, and
Mhm.
you were knocking on businesses' doors and asking them if they wanted to have these towers placed in their businesses. Does it really work like that? Like, is there any other way to get more customers for your company at least? At
So we were running a program for a while where people could go out and like be like we still have it, but like an affiliate program where people could go out and like sign up locations. So like that video is more to show them how to do that. But most of our stuff is being done remotely. Like as far as, we have sales reps that are calling on grocery chains and directly doing deals with the chains, many of which we never meet in person, probably most of which it's all signed remotely. It's the same thing on the ATM side of the business. In the beginning, yeah, it was all door to door, going to locations, meeting with people in person. But now that nationally, everything's done over phone, email, Teams, you name it. Like we really don't meet most of our customers in person unless it's something really big. So the really big stuff. In fact, like I just got word right before this that one of the nice sized supermarket chains we were pursuing over the last few months wants to move forward, and they want to meet in person to seal the deal. So of course, like I'll fly out there for that.
Yeah, but it was kind of strange for you, not really like the common for you.
Oh yeah, so like I mean I do fly a bit for both of the main businesses, but it's usually only for the very big accounts. So
Yeah.
like on the ATM side of the business, we have a lot of airports, and they like to meet in person, like once a year. So I do fly to
Maybe
a lot.
because they are more bureaucratic, in their protocols, probably.
Yeah, and they also have like security requirements and stuff. So we do end up with meeting with those, and then we deal with a lot of banks on both sides of the business, on the ATM side and the media side. These banks and credit unions and stuff, many of them we do meet in person, and part of that is as you would know, it's like whining and dining. You
Yeah,
want to increase your business with the bank, you take the bankers out to lunch and dinner, and make them
yeah.
happy.
Kind of the American culture, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not as much as it used to be. I mean, before COVID, everybody always wanted to go to lunch or dinner and
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
go to these conferences, and you had to take people out. And
It dramatically changed after
yeah,
COVID, didn't
yeah.
it? Yeah,
Now, I mean, most of our meetings are like this. It's sitting here on a
exactly.
computer most of the day and meeting with people. I mean, it's more efficient, but I don't think it's as good because you don't build the same type of relationship.
Yeah,
I've never met you in person, but I could guarantee you, if we met in person, it would be more effective than us meeting here. We'd probably
100%. I'm
being
the type of guy that
close
really
friends
likes
or
going out. Yeah, I'm really the type of guy that really enjoys going out and doing everything outside. It can become, it may become a bit boring and kind of a problem for some people, mentally speaking, like when you stay in front of a computer every single day. I don't, sometimes I'm talking to my colleagues and my team members, and I say, I don't want to know what the that Apple tells you how long have you used your phone for during the
yeah,
day.
screen.
It must be anywhere between 15 and 17 hours. So
It's
I don't want to
horrible.
see that average. I don't want to see that average. So the thing that I can use to counterbalance that is, going out, meeting up in person with our
Yeah.
customers. But on the other side, here on the digital marketing side, you got to stay in front of a device every single day. And even not only for your side, but mentally speaking, like it may you may develop some kind of reality that it's not really up to the real world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I would say that's the kind of problem with digital marketing. But it's great. At the same time, it's really great it lets you connect with people that you otherwise wouldn't be ever been able to connect with.
Sure.
Um, and I think that's the magic. I think that's the magic of social media. And do we have any other questions on Instagram
I think
or the
we're
chat?
probably gonna wrap it up. We went a little over because we started a little late, but I don't see any other specific questions here. So for anybody watching that's interested in Rami's business and maybe is looking for some help with your marketing, especially online, Rami, where can they find you, and where can they find your company?
Well, we didn't partner this live for people to be able to get into our account profiles, but we're on social media. We're also physically located in Miami. We're called Audica Group. It's the Audica underscore group on all social media, LinkedIn as well, everything. Usually people really like coming in personally if they are nearby the Miami areas, but we've worked remotely with some other customers when it comes to services not related to content creation. So if you still need to do any type of sales funnel for your business, and maybe you want to run ads and still need to create content, and we are not physically close to each other, we can make it work, definitely. So we mainly do content generation, whether you have a business close to us or not. We do search engine optimization, especially for home based business services. Google is essential to them. So ranking in the first place in the top 5 or 6 searches, it's like crucial. They want to be found if people, the typical stuff of, for example, handyman near me. We do search engine optimization. We optimize all your websites and profiles to be able to rank as high as possible. We do web development as well. You need to be good at pretty much everything related to technology, because you need to do a really good sales funnel. At the same time, we do retention customer strategies like email marketing, SMS marketing, And at the same time, we also we one of my partners is really specialized at analyzing businesses to see where they're failing and what can be made to improve the operations itself. So for all our businesses, we've had the responsibility, and it's kind of also an obligation to understand the business, the pain point of the customers, to be able to nail all of those points. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to attract customers, because it happens. You do ads or you offer a certain service that nobody is looking for, that no people is interested in. So we always have the obligation to dive really deep into the business, understand everything in order to make it work.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you would be only like creating content out of, you know, without reaching or trying to achieve certain goals. And those businesses are doing pretty good as well. We're not trying to, like, people really do really well on certain things, and that's something you mentioned earlier in this life. People call themselves marketing titles,
Mhm.
where sometimes it's 100% much better to call yourself what you are specialized in. For example, if you're good at Facebook ad, you say Facebook ad specialist, so people can find you directly for what you do. If you're really good at photographic or videographing, you should call it like that. So marketing needs should be more tailored nowadays.
I agree.
But yeah, we do all of it. We
Be
do all
way
of it.
should always, let people know what you're best at, not be so broad. You should go very niche.
That's another thing. People, you gotta understand that your customers, they just want to see results. And no matter how much you love what you do, sometimes explaining what a good marketing strategy is about, like, people won't get it. People won't get it. They will only get the results you're doing for them, you're getting from them. And you gotta make it simple as possible. Nowadays is making everything as simple as possible. Like, if you offer a service or a product, usually people go for pain points on the customers rather than just describing what the product or service is for. Simply because you gotta find ways to attract people's attention and convert them into leads. So if you make it complicated, and that's a good practice we do here at Office every single time. Before running an ad, we show it to a different bunch of people, not even related to the field, and we ask them, like, do you find this simple? Like, do you really understand what this is for?
Mhm.
And if they do not, or the majority of them do not, we seriously reconsider. And we've done that in the past, doing everything from scratch, because sometimes it takes that to run good ads. And the testing part, when you spend money and time on it, it's crucial. You really can't expect just throwing some ads and expect for the best for 100%.
That's it. We tell people to leverage with what we do on the digital screens. It's like, let's try something else because we can change it. It's digital. We can change it out.
No,
I
but
think.
they want to stick with it. It's not like body, just let it go. Like, it's not that
Yep.
serious.
Yep.
We can work on something else. It's not the end of the world. 100%.
Well, awesome. Rami, thanks for coming on. It's great having you. Great learning about you and your business. I'm sure we'll be working together hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
We'll stay in touch. And if anybody's trying to find Rami, we will make sure that when we repost this video that we put the links to his social media and his website. So thanks everyone and have a great rest of your week.
You too, Richard. Nice talking to you as well.
Sounds good. Bye.